Good day, how are we? We are live. So, title of this video is What is Next? And the reason why I'm shooting this video is because of a friend of mine, Matthew. He commented on a post, on a live feed that I did yesterday. And he commented asking, because I made mention to the information age. He said, what's next, Steph? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Hi, Leslie, how are you? On what is post the information age. So it got me thinking. It got me thinking in greater detail. Of course, I've given it a lot of thought, but it got me thinking in greater detail, and I appreciated the question. So Matthew, this one is for you, brother. I'll tag you in this later. So, we've experienced the industrial age, we've experienced the digital age, what experts say we are in the information age. And what is post the information age? Well, some say next is the interplanetary age. And that's interesting. That concept is very interesting. Tanil, how are you? We're talking about the interplanetary age being the next age, so to speak, where basically our species, Matthew, there he is, there's the man. There he is. I'm getting into it now, Matthew, ready? So we've just spoken about the digital age, the industrial age, and we're in the information age, and we're moving towards it makes sense that we would move somewhere beyond, or at least add to, the current information age. And some say the interplanetary age is the next age, the next wave to hit humanity. And what that really means is, as a species, we'll begin to occupy or live on other planets. Mars being, and even perhaps the moon, not so much a planet, but Mars being a very likely source of that. And there are people, organisations, individuals, companies right now. Interplanetary Resources is a company in particular that are mining asteroids. And they're mining asteroids for a number of reasons, but it will make space travel far more accessible, which will make our species far more mobile in our solar system. So I want to actually move past that though, because whilst the interplanetary age is a legitimate concept and a legitimate way that humanity is moving forward, there's a lot more to us than that. And let me elaborate. So Matthew, to directly answer your question, what's beyond the information age? So let me just focus on the information age for a moment, if I may. The information age won't abruptly stop. It won't end. It won't cut off. But we've gathered so much momentum now, mainly through the advent of the internet, technologies such as sensor speed and the computing power of sensors, artificial intelligence, robotics. Sam, how are you, brother? Thank you for joining. All the way from, where are you, Sam? England, Dubai? Are you in Thailand? Where are you now? I don't even know. You're all over the place, brother. But mainly because of those technologies, information and the flow of the information age is at a point where it's gathered enough momentum where we'll obviously, of course, continue to expand our horizons and our knowledge of self and humanity and our environment, Earth, the universe, etc. Information won't stop coming to us. It's not that we've capped our capacity to learn or capped our capacity to inform ourselves or absorb information, not at all. But what will happen is the focus for building this information and learning and growing will not dissipate but slow down. It will just simply be a natural movement. We will have natural momentum in that area, and there, as a humanity, as a collective, we're able to place our focus elsewhere. Now, I believe the next age is really what I call an age of convergence. And it's an age of assimilation, and it's an age of choice. I look at the next age being a very pertinent, multi-layered age. Again, an age of convergence. I'll explain what that is in a minute. An age of sincere choices for humanity as a collective. And an age where we have an opportunity to redefine ourselves as who we are as human beings and where we want to go. Now, the convergence is, for me, it's a convergence of biology and machine. Now, does that mean there's going to be Terminators roaming the earth? Not necessarily. Melina, thank you for joining, really appreciate it. But it does mean that we are going to live longer. it does mean that and this is going to have a huge effect on who we are. Currently in the UK, that's awesome, man. Very well, Sam. Thanks for joining, brother. It means it's going to impact the way we actually live. So, that convergence, that age of convergence, where we're seeing huge leaps in synthetic biology. Raj, thank you for joining. We're seeing huge progress, tremendous progress made in biotech and the way we are able to integrate that into our lives and the way we are able to grow through that. It's tremendous what it's doing for us as a humanity. So I think the next age is a deep dive into that. But I also think because of the choices we've made collectively as a humanity and the governance, the self-governance we've allowed to take place over the last probably 200 to 300 years through that industrial revolution, industrial age, we are at a point, a critical tipping point, an apex point where we have to make some huge decisions with respect to how we are going to choose to live socio-culturally and socio-economically. So looking at it from that perspective, we're entering an age of sincere, legitimate choice. Sincere choices need to be made around the governance of ourselves as individuals, but also as a collective. Hi, Lisa, thank you for joining. So, and what I refer to there is I refer to how we are going to treat ourselves and treat the earth, because we have been experiencing tremendous flux of information coming through us and to us. Again, advent of the internet, the connected nature of globalization and how that's moving forward, or how that moves us forward rather, has really brought us to a point where we know enough now about ourselves and about the earth that we realize that the carrying and caring capacity of the earth right now, the foundation for our existence, what allows us to live and to breathe and to be and to interact and to have relationships and to pursue our dreams and our purpose and so forth, we're realizing that our socio-cultural practices and our socio-economic practices as a collective are deeply influencing the integrity of the earth, of our ecological systems, which in effect are the foundation or lay the foundations for our existence. So we have to make some huge choices as a collective, because right now our practices aren't really in alignment nor in integrity with supporting the earth and supporting us. So we have to look at that very clearly. That's one of the ages that we're entering. I've spoken to convergence, I've spoken to the age of choice, and I've spoken to, or I will speak to now, the age of authenticity. Again, the information age has provided us with a platform to know ourselves deeply. We're at a point in our being now, and in our collective humanity, in our existence, where we must make choices about how we want to act, who do we want to be, and how do we want to lead ourselves. Hey, Danielle, thank you so much for joining. So it's really important that we begin to act authentically as individuals and as a collective, but we must start as individuals. And I teach this in my programs. When we look at being a sovereign leader, so really being a sovereign leader is leading self for the sake of benefiting self, evolving and growing and expanding one's own consciousness, but simultaneously to also be of service to humanity. Because when we do that, we come from a very, very empowered place, a powerful place. In fact, when we do that, we begin to connect ourselves to each other and to our earth as well. So in order for us to really move forward as a species and to move beyond the information age and allow the momentum of what we've created in the information age to just keep rolling and keep flowing, we really need to look at the age of convergence, the age of the interplanetary age, the age of biotech, which is, the age of convergence, the age of choice, where we have some big choices to make as a collective. And there aren't any easy answers to make that. I've got some ideas around transition social frameworks that will assist us in making that that transformation from where we are now to where we would like to be with greater efficacy. But the reality is that it's not going to be an easy choice, because we've somewhat created a rod for our own backs. We've created a dependency on certain socio-cultural systems. So systemically, we're almost bound to particular frameworks and socio-cultural paradigms that we must assess in full, we must recognise, and then we can only move forward once we've actually embraced that. So really, guys, to surmise, we're talking about moving through a very different period of our existence as a humanity. And we have an opportunity to make choices that are in alignment with the grandest version of who we would like to be, at an individual level, but also at a collective level. And I'm personally very excited about where we are in life. I'm very, very excited. Balraj, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. I'm very, very excited about where we have the capacity and the potential to go as a humanity. And I'm not referring to navigating Mars and planting a colony on Mars. That's all good and well. But we have a beautiful Earth here that we can manage, that we can cohabitate with great integrity and self. And that's where the age of authenticity comes in. We've got to get really real with who we want to be and the choices we want to make in life. So, Matthew, look, I hope I've answered your question somewhat, my friend. What is after the age of information? It's the age of convergence. It's the age of choice. It's the interplanetary age. It's the age of authenticity. And it's a multi-layered age that we're entering into. And it's because of it's a complex age, but at the same time, it's a very profound age, or multi-layered ages that we're entering into. And we have opportunities to create right now. And I'm excited about that. But we need to make the choices that are best aligned with the carrying capacity of the earth to give us an opportunity to continue the great work so many of us are doing. Thank you, Balraj. Same to you, my friend. So, guys, many blessings on that. I want to, I want to wrap up there. And that's just something for you to think about. We've got a question. So if you, age of integrity, yeah, absolutely, Danielle, it is. We have an opportunity to make it an age of integrity, absolutely. So I've taken a bit of a different approach and different look at the age that we're entering into, or the multi-layered phase of ages we're entering into. But we have a question: if we look to Mother Nature for advice, she will be able to gift us with what it takes to maintain this planet. After all, she's been managing it forever. Look to her for answers. And she is the best manager of that, because she's been effectively managing our ecosystems for 3 billion years. Yeah, absolutely. And that's called, Tennille, that's called biomimicry. So when we look at that, and guys, if you want to research that, look that up yourselves, but we look at the effectiveness of Mother Nature and Earth and our ecological systems. There's a line now of practice called biomimicry, where technology is actually mimicking and replicating what biology does, but just in a synthetic way, in a human-made way, rather. So really interesting series or multi-layered level of ages that we're entering into now. And it is exciting, but we're at an apex point and we have to make some serious decisions. And if we want to lead ourselves with integrity and with authenticity as true sovereign leaders and leaders of each other and leaders of our earth, then we've got to make we're going to have to make some tremendous decisions about who we want to be and how we want to be. So guys, many blessings. Thank you for listening. Please leave your comments. If you have any, please share if you feel this message is worth sharing. And many blessings to you all, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Take care. Matthew, great thoughts, mate. Thanks for sharing them. Many points of congruence with the conclusions I have often reached from gazing at the future of sites. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry, that was interrupted. My friend, what I'd like to add to that is gaze at the stars as well, and gaze deep within who you are, because there's a lot of power there. Thanks, Maria. Thank you for joining. Just about to... Sorry, guys. Keeps cutting out. I'll wrap that up now. Many blessings. Take care. Lots of love. Share if you agree. Leave your comments. Really appreciate. Thank you.